is an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Unspoiled, covering Harry Potter, the Rereading. Book 1, The Sorcerer's Stone, Chapter 17, The Man with Two Faces. In this chapter, it was Quirrell. I bet none of you knew that. I'm sure nobody gave it away horribly.
Well, if you listen to the last chapter, then maybe you would have gotten that news.
Nope. Nobody ever said anything about it. There was no warning.
That never happened.
It's a complete surprise. Welcome to Unspoiled.
Oh my God. Still the best.
It was Quirrell.
Oh my God. And I think I asked you this last week, but I can't remember what the answer was. When that happened, okay, first of all, I love that it happened. But when
Shut up. Don't you patronize me.
When it happened, did we just end the recording? We just stopped, right?
No.
Or did we keep going?
I was like, I can't escape this. Like, it occurred to me for a second to stop. And then I was like, they're going to know something's wrong. They're going to be able to tell she knows, or that so I was like, I just have to be like, come clean and let everybody know that I made a ridiculous mistake and just let it play out live and see what happens. And hopefully everyone will forgive me and still keep listening to the show and not think that I'm a completely incompetent co-host. Because I wouldn't have blamed y'all if you were just like, yeah, she can't even keep it in her pants for like one book. She cannot handle what's coming up. I mean, I kind of thought that about myself. So,
Oh my God.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Natasha.
I'm RoShawn.
Oh, so it's the last chapter. It's the final chapter.
Didn't we talk about this already?
Oh,
You're
probably.
not supposed to do that.
Oh, you mean me singing to celebrate?
That particular song, yes.
Have I done that before? I'm so predictable. God. I just posted on Instagram, like, it's shocking how many of my accessories and stuff that I own, when I put them all on my desk together, I realize they're all the exact same color.
Oh, the blue that you like and the pink that you like. And sometimes the purple.
See? I don't even have to say it. You know already what I'm talking about. You probably picture my whole desktop in your head with no trouble.
I absolutely can. I can see your whole office.
God. So, yeah, I am a very predictable lady, and hopefully that will not work against me once I decide to, try and publish a novel. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, so this final chapter, it's like a lot is packed into just this one. It's kind of crazy that this is all just one chapter.
Yeah.
Like, Harry finding out that it's Quirrell, it being Voldemort, and he escapes, and then Dumbledore's like, oh yeah, I kind of figured there was some shit happening. I just didn't say anything to you. All one chapter.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some of this could have been parsed out so it covered 2 chapters. I'm not sure why she made a decision to just pack it full like this.
Yeah, I think it being her first book, she maybe didn't pace it as well as she...
Yeah, as we find in later books.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, it is such an exciting end for a first book that it really does make you want to hurry up and read the next one.
It does, right? Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was like. I really have a hard time imagining what it's like for any of these books to get to the end and have to wait a year or 2 for the next one to come out.
Yeah.
That just sounds terrible to me. I'm glad I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I really love the like, the fact that the way that she ends it is just like, oh, Harry's going to totally taunt Dudley. But then later on, it turns out that he, like, can't do that, really. Not really. He can fake it.
Yeah.
But it's not really what, like, I was hoping for, you know?
So this book, this chapter, rather, is the first time we get you thought Snape was trying to hurt you, but really he was trying to save you.
Yep.
Right? That is, like, the chapter kind of starts off, that's like the first bomb that Quirrell drops.
Right.
And I feel like rereading this, I was like, see, I should have known that this was going to be a game that we're going to play for 7 books.
Forever.
Forever. And to tell you the truth, I had forgotten about that too. I mean, I knew that as we were rereading this book and the scene happens at the Quidditch match and Hermione, sets him on fire practically. Mm-hmm. I remembered that Snape wasn't really doing it, but I couldn't remember what exactly was happening. Mm-hmm. So, I got a little reminder of, it was Quirrell, and, that was what was happening here.
Yeah, it is such a subtle thing that I, like, not this time rereading it with you because I was looking for it, but the first time that I went back and reread it, I kind of had a moment as well of being like, wait, how did that go down again? Right.
Because I think the way it's written, too, she says, like, Hermione practically knocks over Quirrell on her way to get to Snape. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
I remember we talked about how, she makes sure, Rowling makes sure to remind us that Quirrell is here.
Right.
Even though there's no interaction with him.
Yep.
So, okay, she's very sneaky that way.
She is. She loves to slip little things in and then just be like, oh, it's not my problem you didn't notice that. And you're like, why would I notice that, though? So Snape was trying to save me? Of course, said Quirrell coolly. Why do you think he wanted to referee your next match? He was trying to make sure I didn't do it again. Funny, really. He needn't have bothered. I couldn't do anything with Dumbledore watching. All the other teachers thought Snape was trying to stop Gryffindor winning. He did make himself unpopular. And what a waste of time when after all that I'm going to kill you tonight. Pretty good line, honestly.
Yeah. And that line, too, about making himself so unpopular with all the other teachers. Mm-hmm. When you think about the entirety of his journey, of Snape's journey. Mm-hmm. And we've already talked at great length about how much he's just a dick, though.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of it does come down to him just being an unpleasant personality, an unpleasant person who has a giant chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, that is the August postcard, everybody. It just is. Snape was still a dick, though. So you guys keep an eye out for that. I posted it in the patrons group already, but and at this point, like, he's still talking about Voldemort as, like, that he's always near me, and it feels very symbolic. You don't realize how literal it is until he decides that he's going to take off his turban.
Yeah. Listen, the build up too. Harry's like, was he in the classroom?
Right.
Was he in the dining hall? Like this.
And with the candlestick in the library.
God.
And let's see. Then this is the part where Harry uses the mirror to get the stone, but not actually, like, he doesn't, because the whole deal is only a person who wanted to find the stone but not use it would be able to get it. So Harry looks in the mirror, feels it slide into his pocket, and continues lying. And it's done in such a way that Quirrell doesn't see anything. So he doesn't realize that Harry has it, but he also is like, you're lying, though. I know you're lying. Why you gotta be like this?
Yeah, Quirrell does not get what he's supposed to do with this mirror. Which can we take a minute? Because Harry gets it pretty quickly.
Yes.
Right? And I'm guessing the reason he has that is because he had the earlier conversation with Dumbledore. So that means that he has an understanding of the mirror that Quirrell doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But Quirrell is also a teacher of the dark arts and has been, I mean, I don't know if he's been on staff. Is he a new teacher? He's new. He's new this year. I remember he's new this year because he just got back from his adventures.
Right. I guess that's true because I was thinking that he had been around, but that he had just gone on vacation during the summer.
Yeah, see, I can't remember if they say how long he was gone. But I feel like
the position is cursed, Defense Against the Dark Arts, so nobody has it for more than 1 year.
Yeah.
So he has to be new.
So I guess he just doesn't understand the way the mirror works, and Harry is lucky that he does because he had this encounter with Dumbledore. Because at first I was kind of hung up on it, like why wouldn't a teacher, a wizard, understand?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And again, also because I tend to expect more from the adults.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Which is, I guess it's is it fair?
I mean, it's like, I want to say that it's fair, but also, like, people have proven to me so very, very abundantly over the past 2 or 3 years how fucking idiotic they are that, you know what? It doesn't surprise me you didn't get it.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, why wouldn't Voldemort have just told him what he needed him to do with the mirror ahead of time?
I don't think Voldemort knew what the mirror was going to be. Because Dumbledore doesn't share how this works until after the fact. It just happens with Harry. It's just an accidental thing. Like, here, I'll read the section. Come here, look in the mirror and tell me what you see. Harry walked towards him. I must lie, he thought desperately. I must look and lie about what I see, that's all. Quirrell moved close behind him. Harry breathed in the funny smell that seemed to come from Quirrell's turban. He closed his eyes, stepped in front of the mirror, and opened them again. He saw his reflection, pale and scared-looking at first, but a moment later the reflection smiled at him. It put its hand into its pocket and pulled out a blood-red stone. It winked and put the stone back in its pocket, and as it did so, Harry felt something heavy drop into his real pocket. Somehow, incredibly, he'd got the stone. So it's not like Harry knows how it works either. He just steps in front of it and boom, the stone's there.
Well, he says before that, though, that he says when he looks in the mirror, it's going to show me what I want more than anything else in the world. It's going to, if I look in the mirror, I should see myself finding it.
Mm-hmm. Which means I'll see where it's hidden. But that's the caveat that only he seems to understand how significant that is.
Okay.
It's that it'll show me finding it, but not using it, because his goal here is so different.
Okay.
And I'm not sure he knows how subtle a difference that is.
That's true too. That's true. And Quirrell can't see either way.
Nope.
Right. He can't see what Harry sees in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets the stone. Quirrell doesn't see it happen, and Harry has to kind of lie.
Yeah, he says he's won the House Cup and is shaking hands with Dumbledore, which is kind of adorable.
Yeah. And he believes him. Get out of the way.
So what do you think of this illustration of him undoing his turban? Have you gotten there yet?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. And it's just like a red snake eye is really all you see. So it's not as terrifying as I had expected, because you really only see a little bit. I think it works better this way, though.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking that they could make it as frightening as it sounds in your head.
Yeah, so this is effective because it's just a tiny little glimpse, and you kind of get the feeling you're almost grateful you don't see more.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, well done.
So he starts to unwrap his turban. Quirrell's head looks strangely small without it. Then he turned slowly on the spot. Harry would have screamed, but he couldn't make a sound. Where there should have been a back to Quirrell's head, there was a face. The most terrible face Harry had ever seen. It was chalk white with glaring red eyes and slits for nostrils like a snake. Dun, dun, dun.
Listen. I mean, the night that we read this for the first time, I'll never be able to sum it up as clearly as I did that night, which basically is that this motherfucker has a whole other face.
This motherfucker. That's it. Go home, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know really if I really don't need to add to that.
Right? Pretty much. That sums it up.
He's been walking around all school year with another face, and it still boggles my mind that, like, we talked a couple episodes ago about, like, there were no staff meetings all year. Like, nobody is checking in on the teachers. I'm not sure if anyone could have gotten to the bottom of this. I don't expect Dumbledore to, like, make him take his turban off.
Right.
Was he wearing a turban every day before he went on vacation?
Like, they say that the explanation that they give during the book is that he had a run-in with a vampire, and now he wore this turban chocked full of garlic to keep vampires away because he'd gotten so paranoid.
That's right. And that's all. Yeah, that's right. And then the weird smell was also attributed to whatever he was hiding in there to keep the vampires away.
And it's not like an official explanation, but it's a rumor that, just tossed around with everybody as a joke, kind of. But, yeah. Basically, he's a mess, and those teachers just don't want to, like, deal with it. So they're just like, yeah, that guy's a mess. What are you going to do?
It sounds like it. They're just, no one is, like, I don't know, like, no one is, hey, can we talk to you about your smell?
Right? Listen, can I tell you a little short story here about the awkwardness of having to do something like that? I thankfully did not.
I've had to do that.
Have you?
Yes. I've had to talk to an employee who had a distinct smell who would come to work, and yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't even think I shouldn't really have been the one, but they didn't have an HR department at this particular job. They didn't have a dedicated HR on site. They had it done through a corporate office, for like benefits administration and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's a hard conversation to have, guys.
Yeah.
Especially with an adult. Like, if you got to pull the stinky kid out of class, that's one thing, but to tell a grown person.
When I was working at Whole Foods, there was a guy who worked in the bulk department. He was like the supervisor, and he had dreads, and he was a white guy. And you know how white people dreads just aren't right. Like,
they're not right.
They're not. They're mats. They're not. They don't. Their hair texture is not right for dreads, so it gets funky. And listen, if you're a white person with dreads listening to this, I say this with love: shave your head and just have done with it. Just get rid of them. But this guy, just get rid of him. Just undo it, and we'll all just go on and pretend that never happened. Just, forgive you on the spot for it if you just fix it right now. And it was not just that he had dreads. He had dreads like to his waist that he piled up and held in place with a giant beanie that was like stretched out to the size of a trash can.
Good Lord.
And he hardly showered. And you could smell him from like 8 or 9 feet away easy. And customers started to complain about him. And finally, my boss had to like go to him and talk to him about the fact that customers were complaining, and if it's an issue with that you're not able to like afford shampoo, and he had to like give him a bottle of shampoo from the body department.
Oh my God.
And it was just one of those awkward, like, we all knew it was coming because we had all been low-key complaining to each other for a while before the customers started to really get vocal about it. And, it's just kind of like, this is a guy, it's not just that he's, like, putting cans on a shelf. He worked in bulk, which all of that food is open and exposed in, like, these bins and containers. So there's an added ick factor with that, with somebody who just feels like they're dirty. And
messing around with everybody's food.
Right, just, like, putting their hands all up in it and everything. And you're just like, maybe just I'll skip that one today. I think maybe I'll get it from Frozen, but thanks. I mean, I probably would if I was standing next to a guy about to grab something and I saw him doing all the stalking and I got so knocked over by the smell of him. I'm probably right.
I'm not buying shit. I'm going right out the front door.
Yeah, same. So yeah. So what I'm saying is, Voldemort worked at my store, and I didn't know.
That's what was going on.
That's what was clearly happening. Anyway, so Harry is, in the middle of basically having an argument with Voldemort, which is kind of hilarious. And he commands Quirrell to jump on Harry and grab him. And Quirrell does, but his hands get burned. And he backs off. And Harry passes out and wakes up in the infirmary. And when he wakes up, Dumbledore's there, and he flips out thinking that Dumbledore doesn't know exactly what the fuck is going on. And it's just like, you need to do something. Oh my God. Dumbledore's like, sweetie, honey, calm down. I'm not just sitting. I found you passed out at the end of our obstacle course. I figured something was wrong. Relax. And then this is when Harry kind of gets the lowdown about some of what has been going on. The very tip of the iceberg, really. Yeah.
So it's been several days.
Yep.
When Harry wakes up. And I mean, he has no idea what happened. The last thing he knows is Quirrell had him. He's screaming in pain because he's burning. Mm-hmm. And then he passes out.
Yep.
And it's the what does Dumbledore say? It's not the stone, because I think Harry thinks the stone is what saved him.
Oh, right. That's right. I forgot about that. I'm finding the thing. How long have I been in here? Sir, the stone, he says, I see you're not to be distracted. The stone. Professor Quirrell had not managed to take it from you. I arrived in time to prevent that, although you were doing very well on your own, I must say. And then he tells him that the stone has been destroyed. And Harry's like, what? Why would you do that? Your friend is going to die now. And Dumbledore's like, yeah, well, that's life, basically.
Yeah. And also they have a bunch of that elixir, on the side, too. So
set their affairs in order, right? I kind of love that. Just this little, yeah, I mean, it was a huge sacrifice and everything, but also they still have 200 years to go. So, all right, maybe I'm not so worried about it. And this is also the first time that he tells Harry to say Voldemort.
Yeah.
Fear of a name increases fear of the thing itself.
I love that, and I love that Harry always has to be corrected, you know? His impulse is to call him Voldemort pretty much every time. And I had forgotten that Dumbledore is the one that advised him to do that. I'd totally forgotten about that part. Because Harry does it even before this conversation. At the beginning of the book, he calls him Voldemort. But between Ron and whoever else, it's don't say his name.
Right.
So I like being reminded that part of Harry's impulse to call him Voldemort is rooted in advice from Dumbledore.
Right.
And this picture of Harry on the next page is so sad and forlorn.
Right. He really looks young here. I feel like so many of the illustrations I've seen, they age him up, and I'm not sure if it's that people don't picture him as this age, or if they're not quite good enough as artists to get that look down. It's a kind of frustrating thing, because whenever artists on DeviantArt, when I look for stuff for this book or for Dresden Files or Dark Tower, it's always the opposite, where the male characters always look older and the female characters always look younger. And Song of Ice and Fire, it was particularly egregious. I looked up a picture of Cersei, and she looked like she was 14 in a lot of the renderings. And I was like, come on, guys, Jesus,
Yeah, that's gross.
You know, like,
I mean, I know Daenerys is like 14 in the first books, but Cersei is definitely not.
no.
So
Like,
why are we drawing her to look that way? Gross. Stop it.
yeah, there were a couple like people who commented on DeviantArt who were just like, "So, what's that about?" And the artist was like, "Yeah, that was kind of accidental." But it definitely, you know, when you have this like awareness of misogyny and of infantilizing women, you'd start to be like, "Yeah, it's not an accident, though." Like,
Yeah.
not saying that you did it on purpose, but like,
exactly. That's what I was going to say. I was exactly going to say that. Like, people don't even realize why they're doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're right. This picture of Harry, he looks like a little kid, and I mean, he's 11 at this point, right? It's his 11th
Yes.
birthday, 12th birthday, 11th birthday when he
11th
gets the
birthday.
letter. So he is literally a little kid, and already we have this first adventure is done. You know, I like that it's at the end of the book too, because as you're reading it, as I was reading it, I tend to forget that how young he was when this all starts.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm reading their dialogue, and sometimes I even get frustrated because it's so childish. And I have to remind myself, oh wait, no, but they're little kids though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I kind of want to forget that because, you know, it's a combination of just like I can relate better to characters that are older, but also I want characters to be capable of more than they are.
Right.
Because they're so young they can't really do anything and they're at the mercy of, and I hate that, you know. I want them to be able to just fix shit. So
yeah. Yeah, you want them to be able to take care of themselves. And it's pretty striking to have this reminder, this visual reminder of what our characters, where they are in their life. And so, yeah, I'm curious, too, as these books go on, and if I'm lucky enough to continue to get the illustrated ones, what the representation of Harry will look like as he ages, you know?
Yeah.
This picture is really, really good, though, guys. It's really quite I don't know, it's quite touching.
It is touching,
and
yeah.
And it's really simple, too. It's all in, like, these muted colors, but it's, yeah, something about his eyes, too. The eyes are really big. I don't know. It's just a really nice picture.
Yeah, it kind of gets across that, like, I've seen too much already. I'm 11 years old.
Kind of.
You know, like, I
kind
shouldn't
of
have had
like
to go through this shit.
Yeah, he's got like these weary eyes that look kind of like, yeah, man, I've seen some shit. I saw a dude with a face in the back of his head. That's some shit you don't just get over. You know?
Oh, God.
Someone in our group posted a picture of a really nice tattoo somebody had gotten that I think has made the rounds before. And somebody commented, like, who would want Daniel Radcliffe, you know, on their arm? And I think it was Malfoy. I think Malfoy was on it, too. And I stopped and thought for a second because I was like, you know what? That's fair, because if you are so moved and touched by the story, right? If Harry Potter means that much to you and you want to get a tattoo of it, what do you get besides Daniel Radcliffe? That's the representation. That's the visual that's out, right? So, yeah, like what are your other options?
That's been part of the struggle for me with deciding what kind of tattoo I want to get. Like, I think when we first were talking about the illustrated edition, that was my theory, was that I was like, maybe I'll use an illustration from the book. Because I don't really want stuff from the movies in some cases, because they're like, they just did something that I didn't really like with a certain aspect of whatever. And I have a hang up about it, and the actual visual representation of it fucking irritates me because of that. And I'm just somebody who, I try to stay away from like real to life renderings in tattoos. That's not my taste.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, same.
So that is not something that I would ever want. But yeah, unless you're going to do, like, they don't have the final book illustrated out yet. So there isn't anything beyond him looking like a little kid. And not many people are going to want him as a tiny child. tattooed on themselves. They're going to want him as the victorious, grown, been through the gauntlet dude.
I wonder also if I would imagine part of the appeal of getting a Harry Potter tattoo of any kind would be a certain level of recognition of what it is you have, right?
Yeah, probably.
So say you get the Harry Potter from the illustrated book, not you personally, but anyone.
Right.
People might not recognize that that's what you have. You know, they might just think it's some kid you know.
I guess,
you know?
yeah.
I guess you'd really have to make a point to have the scar visible and maybe a wand involved, you know, so people get that that's what you're going for. Yeah, it's a tough spot. I don't do pictures in tattoos, or I haven't up to this point, for a lot of the same reasons, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want something that would be really... I would want it to be meaningful to me, but I don't want anything that, anything that you could Google image, almost. You know, it's just, I don't know.
No, I get that, though. So, let's see. Voldemort said he only killed my mother because she tried to stop him killing me, but why would he want to kill me in the first place? Alas, the very first thing you ask me, I cannot tell you. Not today, not now. You will know one day. Put it from your mind for now. When you're older, I know you hate to hear this. When you're ready, you will know.
Mm-hmm. I actually came out and just explained it all either. Did you, Dumbledore?
Nope.
No, you didn't. Mm-hmm. Should have just told him everything right now. But, okay.
Yep. So then he tells him about Snape hating his dad and what that whole backstory is about, but only like the bare minimum. Yeah.
And he tells them about the cloak. That, you know, he's the one that gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that it belonged to his dad, which I thought is really touching. I had forgotten, you know, how important it was for him to get something that had belonged to his dad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a strange thing to remember how... You know, somebody could be adopted, but they still have a lot of times, like in this situation where you're adopted by family, you're going to know where you came from to a degree. But Harry's whole past is so squashed that he has nothing, you know, nothing at all to go on. And so, yeah, it just means so much more.
Yeah. So, like, he knows that it was his dad's when he gets it. But he doesn't know who gave it to him.
Right.
So this is a nice moment because it kind of connects Dumbledore to Harry's dad. I mean, I think Harry already knew that they would have a connection. He already knew that Dumbledore knew his parents and all that.
Right.
But just this level of sort of intimacy, because Dumbledore is like, you know, he used it to sneak to go into the kitchen to get food, and it just, you know, this sort of connection.
And then he tells Harry about why the mirror worked the way it did. And then Harry's friends come in. What's up? And they're all happy and delighted. And then we go to the meal where everybody gets their points.
I just want to say real quick that when Ron finds out that the stone is going to be destroyed, he has the same exact reaction that Harry does.
Right?
So, what? I was just going to die.
He said that life was just the next big adventure. I always knew he was off his rocker. Oh, Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of people, you know, call bullshit on the fact that Dumbledore just handed out points willy-nilly like this at the very last second, which I think is fair.
Yeah, and it sort of sets a precedent.
Right. Basically. And Harry had almost forgotten that the exam results were still to come. But come they did. To their great surprise, both he and Ron passed with good marks, and Hermione, of course, came out top of the year. Even Neville scraped through, his good herbology mark making up for his abysmal potions one. And they are getting ready to leave for the year, and Ron tells Harry that he should come and stay with him for the summer. And they are getting on the train, or they're getting off the train, and I love when he catches a glimpse of Harry's family, Mrs. Weasley comes over and she says, "Yo, you must be Harry's family." "In a manner of speaking," said Uncle Vernon. "Hurry up, boy, we haven't got all day." Harry hung back for a last word with Ron and Hermione. "Hope you have a good holiday," said Hermione. "Oh, I will," said Harry, and they were surprised at the grin spreading over his face. "They don't know we're not allowed to use magic at home. I'm going to have a lot of fun with Dudley this summer." And that is the end of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
And then we have a little picture of Trevor again on the last page.
Isn't he adorbs?
Oh, boy.
I don't know how to do a ribbit. Ribbit. No, I got nothing.
I would have just said ribbit.
So I have an announcement that I'm pretty excited about. If you follow our Facebook page, you know about it already. As many of you noticed and missed us so much last week, we took the week off from recording all of my shows because I had some shit to take care of. And one of my big goals was to find somebody who was interested in doing a sponsorship for the show. And it was super great because I wound up stumbling on them immediately, and they were immediately interested in a partnership with me, and it worked out like very quickly, and I was super excited about it. So our new sponsor is Accio Box, and let me just start out by saying I didn't know it was pronounced Accio, and that sounds ridiculous to me. I have said it Accio in my head forever and ever. I have to completely unlearn what I have known for like 20 years, it feels like. But Accio Box is a monthly Harry Potter themed subscription box. And it is as awesome as it sounds. I can hear you squealing in delight.
It does sound pretty fucking awesome.
Right. And they don't just go to, Amazon and be like, I'd like 2,000 Harry Potter pins, please. They have handmade, unique, artisanal items created by fans. Like, people who are on Etsy and make things for Slytherin House because they love them. They purposefully go and curate the boxes and make sure that at least one item every month is specific to whatever your house is. So when you sign up and subscribe, you choose your t-shirt size and you choose your house. And that way they know that, whatever it is that you subscribe to, they were asking me what house you were in, RoShawn, because they were thinking if you hadn't been sorted yet, we could do it on the air and then they could send you your box after that. But I just think it's the coolest thing. And if you use code UNSPOILED when you sign up for your subscription, you get 10% off your first 3 months of the subscription, which is pretty awesome because I kind of thought it was only going to be off the first box. But no, it's your first 3 boxes. You get 10% off each one. So check out AccioBox.com, ACCIOBOX. They are also available on Instagram at the Accio Box. You can find them there. They have a Facebook page, which I tagged on our Facebook, on the post on our Facebook, which is facebook.com/unspoiledpod. And they are going to be sending me and RoShawn a box for August that we are going to open live on the air, and I'm really excited about it because I have no idea what's going to be in it. And RoShawn and I usually record on Fridays, and if that box arrives on like a Tuesday, and I just have to let it sit there?
We're not letting that shit sit. We'll just record 5 minutes real quick to open it.
Oh my God, maybe we should just do that because that's going to kill me.
It's not going to sit for... Oh, you know what? I got to make sure I ask you something when we get off air. Don't forget.
Okay. But yeah, it's really fun. If you go to their website, AccioBox.com, they have some pictures of examples of things that they have had in the past. And I watched a video unboxing where this girl had it was a stainless steel water bottle that said Aguamenti down the side, which I thought was adorable. A really beautiful scarf, and some of the stuff that they have like on the pictures in their site. There's a loose leaf tea that's butterbeer flavored. and a mug that has an owl on it, says still waiting for my Hogwarts letter. Different things like this. So every box has 3 to 5 items in it, depending. And they're taking orders now for the August box because they completely sold out for July. They are super popular. So if you're interested in getting one, I would sign up now because they're going to be probably selling out for August. It was, I think, like a week before July, and they had been sold out for several days already. So it does happen within a couple weeks. So yeah, guys, go to akiobox.com, use code unspoiled. And I just want to share, because when I contacted them about becoming a sponsor for the show, part of what drew me to them was their statement of solidarity. And I asked them if I could read this, and they said that they would love it because they know not many people wind up going to that page of their site, but that it's really important to them. And so I'm going to read it. Our statement of solidarity. If there's one thing that the Harry Potter series taught us, it's that oppression is an evil worth fighting against. Even as kids, we recognize the allegory in the idea that people of, quote, pure blood are somehow more worthy than those with mixed or non-magical parentage, and the direct metaphor to real-world bigotry based on race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender, ability, economic status, and a host of other identities. And as a company founded by 2 queer women, we have felt some of that sting ourselves. It is with this in mind that we pledge our solidarity with those living with marginalized identities during a time when a culture of discrimination permeates our society. We believe Black Lives Matter and that systemic racism must be defeated. We value the rich cultural and intellectual contributions of our Latinx neighbors, and we believe in building bridges, not walls. We believe that trans is beautiful and that all queer and non-cis identities deserve to have their rights protected by law. We believe in religious freedom for all, not just those who worship like we do. We believe in the sovereignty of indigenous nations, and we know water is life. We believe our neurodivergent and disabled citizens deserve respect and adequate care. We reject patriarchy and the harm it causes to all of us, but in particular women, femmes, and non-binary folks. And we will fight for these beliefs. We know we may lose some of you as customers for this statement, but ultimately our commitment to resisting against hatred and intolerance trumps everything, including the success of our business. We choose people over profits every time. In the words of Albus Dumbledore, dark and difficult times lie ahead. Soon we must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy. As for us, we choose love, and we choose to resist.
Oh, I love that.
I love it so much.
I heard it before, but I really like it.
I read it and I was just like, oh, where's my email? Holy shit, I gotta get these people. I was like so excited about it. And it really, like, I don't want to be a biter, but I might just do the same exact statement of solidarity, like very similar on my page, because not that you guys don't all already know it already, but you know, there's new people finding the show all the time, and I'm not interested in some of the snotty comments that I get occasionally. Not that people will take the time to read it before they send me a snotty comment, more than likely, let's be real. But, you know, I feel like it's just good to put it out there. Take a stand somewhere in writing. So, yeah, guys.
That's a good mission statement.
Right? So, Akio Box. Code unspoiled, 10% off. Check it out. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for us to get our boxes. We're going to be getting them in August. So it's going to be a little bit, and it's going to kill me to wait, but I'm super excited. Also, I just wanted to remind everybody to check out the GoFundMe for RoShawn and me for our trip to Universal. If you're able to throw any coins our way, please do. It's GoFundMe.com/unspoiledHPWorld. We could both use all the help we can get. And, you know, we are really excited about this trip, and I just can't wait. And I'm so excited. And there's so many more people that are going to be coming than I expected. And I am really, like, it's surreal to think that I'm going to actually get to meet a bunch of you in person that I've been talking to online for, like, literally years at this point. So I'm super stoked, and I can't wait, and I'm already, like, planning. I'm planning way too much. Like, nothing's going to go according to plan, but I can't help myself. It's what I do. And I feel like there was another thing I wanted to mention. Isn't there? I'm sure.
Probably. I can't even begin to imagine what he could do, though.
There's so much happening. I'm working on some designs for T-shirts for creating a new store on TeePublic, which I will, obviously be posting about that once I have that kind of settled. If you are a graphic designer with at all reasonable rates or an interest in volunteering, ding, she said with a smile, I have been having a little bit of trouble with figuring out, unfortunately, Vivi, who has been my logo designer and everything designer basically up until a little while ago, she just got a real job and is swamped and really can't do the logos for me anymore, which is a shame because she's like amazing. And I have a lot of ideas bouncing around in my head, but I don't have the experience to be able to do them myself. And I got a subscription to Canva, which I can use their designs for postcards for patrons once a month, which the one that's going to be coming to you guys for July is an awesome, haughty, smug-ass unicorn in a crown saying, "Don't shame people, judge them silently as God intended." I'm very excited about this, in case you couldn't tell. I can use Canva's art for things that I give away. But when it comes to posting for sale, I can't unless I buy one of their extended, licenses. And it's like $100 per. And I just don't have that kind of money to front without having any sales behind me yet. So, if you're somebody who's good at design and is interested in supporting the show, I will throw you a free t-shirt. I'll buy you a t-shirt or, something. We'll figure something out. I'll give you patron access if you're not already a patron. I'll send you a bunch of postcards. I'll buy you a drink in Orlando. I don't know. But, yeah, get in touch with me, unspoiledpodcast@gmail.com. And I think that I'm sure I'm forgetting something because we've been gone a little bit. But the very last thing I want to do is say hi to patrons. So, newbies, what's up? We have Tara Karan, Nivaditha Asokarahan, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Clara Berghaus, Emma Hepp, Bhakti Modi, Beth Eppright, Vanessa Bray, Christina Quinn, Pablo Corden, Megan Carpenter. Wait, Megan's not new. Get out of here, Megan. You're not new. Catherine Warner, Jason Rosenberg, Brian Dickey, and Donna Doherty. So welcome to all of you new patrons. I'm super excited to have you here. Thank you so much for pledging. And I really hope that you join me on this Sunday that's coming up for my marathon of the Godfather movies.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm going to be recording that on Monday with RoShawn, but I'm going to be watching them all day on Sunday, live on Facebook streaming on the patrons group. And then the recording of me and RoShawn talking about the movies is going to be for patrons only as a reward for reaching my patron goal of 429. I think I'm at like 440 now. And yeah, that's about it. And then RoShawn and I are figuring out what we want to do because we want to say thank you to people who donate to the GoFundMe. And most people are saying that they would like a special podcast of some kind. So I was thinking if we did do one huge episode covering all 8 movies, maybe that could be the thank you to our patrons and have that, or to our donors, and have that be exclusive for them.
Super drunk watching and recording.
Right? It'd be so much fun. We could just do a big old dumb marathon.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
And that way it would like be really tied in with the trip because it's all, the visuals for the actual park are all based on the movies, and there's just like no reason that you would know what any of it meant if you didn't see the movies first. So I feel like it would tie together quite well. So, that's my thought right now. And I would love to know what y'all think of it if you are a donor, if that sounds good to you. So let me know. I also posted on the GoFundMe and asked. Okay. I swear to God, I'm done now. For real. I'm sorry. I'm just, there's a lot to keep track of, and this is part of what I've been struggling with in terms of like pacing myself. And I'm just really barely starting to get a handle on how little I can really actually accomplish in any given amount of time, because I love to think that I can get something done in 30 minutes when in fact it takes like 6 hours. So, these announcements are a prime example. I thought this would be 15 minutes. What's up? It did not work out that way. So,
I thought it would be 15 minutes. What's up? Oh, God, I love you.
So, guys, thank you all so much, really, for everything. So many of you have donated, been just incredibly generous with your help and everything. I'm realizing now that, like, there probably are donors that I didn't say thank you to. So I'm going to go and check that out. And we're up to 280 reviews on iTunes. So that's amazing. Like, I'm just, what? You guys are crazy. Jenna DeRosier, Gretchen Engel, Anonymous, and Jan Estes all donated over the past 2 weeks. I just wanted to cover the past 2 weeks just in case. So thank you guys so much. Everybody's just been so generous. It's crazy. So thank you all. Really, thank you. You don't even know. It's like, it's really something. It kind of makes me tear up a little bit.
I still can't even believe it. It's crazy. It really is.
For the book club this past month, I read The Night Circus, which was just a gorgeous book. And there's a whole thing in the book about this like fandom that gets created around the circus and how much it means to people and it brings them together. And it really got me thinking about how crazy it is that we're bringing people together over this podcast. Like, people are friends that weren't friends before.
Yeah.
People I never knew. We're going to actually meet them.
I was thinking too the other day about, and I think about it often, how much my life has expanded from doing this podcast with you. I mean, but from you and then the people that we have in our group and that people listen to Unspoiled, and then people who listen to Unspoiled that talk about other shows that I then go check out. And then you introduce me to other podcasts that I go and listen to and then become part of their communities. I have probably, I don't even know what the number would be, but so many friends on Facebook that I know exclusively through podcasting. It just has just opened up. It's really also, guys, I was kind of a dork and didn't have a lot of friends, so there's that.
Aww.
But yeah, it's really something. And the fact that we're going to go meet people and hang out with them. I mean, somebody is flying from
Norway.
It's bananas.
Elizabeth.
And she's bringing us chocolate.
Oh, she better. Listen, Elizabeth, if you don't bring us chocolate, just turn around and fly right the fuck back, okay?
I mean, it's amazing. I'm so excited to meet everybody that's going to be there, and I just think it's going to be a ton of fun, so.
I just can't, it can't not be, right? Unless y'all are terrible, which just don't be terrible, and then we're fine.
Well, if they were terrible, they wouldn't be listening to us, though.
That's a very, you know what? You make a very compelling argument.
There are no terrible people that are listening to us. If you're listening to us, you're awesome.
It's really, that's kind of a great tagline. That's
if you're listening to us, you're awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and make that a T-shirt. What do you say? Sound good?
At this point, you're just gonna make everything.
Everything's a T-shirt. Ta-da! I'm going to make one, guys. There was this amazing thing that RoShawn posted yesterday where a guy called a woman a dangerous bitch, and it might not have anything to do with the podcast, but there's going to be a dangerous bitch T-shirt. There is going to be, I designed it already. It looks pretty good. What do you think with that heart?
I thought it was dope. Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I
going
like it
up.
a lot better than Nasty Woman too. I like Dangerous Bitch a lot better than that.
Yeah, Nasty Woman sounds like a porn thing. Like, I get why people, like, decided to take it up and run with it. Like,
Well, sure, because the way it was uttered and the context that it was used and all that.
right.
But this Dangerous Bitch thing was used the same way, and I love it. I think it's so much better.
It sounds so, like, noir. You know? She
My
was a
God.
dangerous bitch with legs up to here and no conscience.
That's going to be a line in the next Dresden book we read.
Probably. Oh my God, I was listening to the audiobook of it today. Let's start taking account on how many times he has women with their hair up, held in place, but with chopsticks. Because I don't think he knows how women wear their hair otherwise. Like, it's ponytails or chopsticks, and that's it. So,
I don't even want that to be a thing.
like, and there are times where it's because, like, the chopsticks get utilized as weapons later, and I'm just like, I guess.
No.
Maybe.
No. You stop it right now.
Don't get me wrong, guys. I love Dresden Files, but, you know, there are some things with ladies that he's just not the best about.
All right, this Harry Potter podcast is veering dangerously into Harry Dresden territory.
I'm sorry. I got my hairy wizards mixed up. Hairy wizard.
All right, we're done here.
Somebody draw me a hairy wizard.
This whole thing is gotten
Going on a
wildly out of
t-shirt.
control.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week with the first 3 chapters of... What is it? The Secret Chamber. That's the one. Sorry, I've been drinking. You know the one. You guys all know what it is. Snake one.
Not your first time here.
It's
this is the reread. You know what's happening.
It's the snake one. We all know why we're here.
Oh, God.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers.